Hey there students, in this video we're going to talk about internet security and how to stay private and secure online. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is your password. So these days, unfortunately, hackers who try to steal passwords, they're out there, and there's a lot of people that do this to try and steal your identity, and it's something that you really need to think a lot about when creating a password. So these days, hackers, they can easily crack passwords that are a real word. So if your password was like football, a real word is easy. The hackers create these programs that scroll through all the different words in the English language pretty quickly, so they can crack passwords that are real words fairly easily. So the best password you can create is going to be a combination of letters, both uppercase and lowercase, numbers, and also symbols like the percent sign, the dollar sign, the at symbol, or exclamation points. So if you use combinations of all of those things when creating a password, it's much more difficult for a computer program to cycle through all the different combinations. One way to keep it straight might be to use symbols as letters in your password. So if you look at my example here, football 5623, I use an uppercase letter F, but I use the exclamation point instead of the lowercase letter L's to make it more difficult for a computer generated password cracking program to figure out that's the word I'm trying to say. So when you're creating a new password, remember upper lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols, and try to avoid real words. So let's talk a little bit more about your password and your friends. So oftentimes you might ask your friend for their password, or they might ask you for your password. And this is something that we really need to make sure stops. You should never ever share a password with a friend. Even if it's your best friend in the whole world and you've known them since you were a baby, it doesn't matter. You never give your password to a friend, because you never know if your friend slips up and actually tells your password to someone else, or maybe that friendship ends and that person feels like they want to log in as you to get revenge. Those kinds of things happen all the time, so just stop it. Never share your password with a friend. And to make it easy, never ask your friends for their password. You don't want to be that person that puts your friend in an awkward situation. You know it's not right. Your password is your password, and the only person that should know your password is your parents, because they are your parents and you don't really own the account. It's actually their account when you're a kid. So it's okay if your parents know your passwords, but they are the only people in the entire world that you should ever tell your password to. Another thing, this is kind of a pain, but unfortunately it's just the truth. It's hard to remember your password, but it really is best practice to put a new password for every account. So that means if you have a Google login and you also have a Yahoo login and you also have a Facebook login and an Instagram login, the password should be different for every account. One way you can try to do this is to try variations that are similar, but a little bit different. So it's kind of the same type of password, but you've mixed a few characters up, so it's not completely different. And using a password app like LastPass is a good app that you can get on your phone that saves all your passwords, and it's free. It's better than putting all of your passwords in like a Google Doc, because that's not very secure. So a couple things to think about with your passwords and your computer. The easiest way to get hacked is by staying logged into your computer and then someone else picking your computer up and opening it up and being logged in, and then they can just have access to all of your accounts. So a couple of things to think about is to log off or like lock your computer when you're not using it, so that way if someone else gets your computer, they can't just open it up and start to act as you on your accounts. Try not to save your passwords in your browser. I know that like Google Chrome will ask you, do you want to save this password, so that it's easier to log in next time. Avoid doing that, because that way if your computer gets taken, the person can't easily sign into your passwords. And like I said before, use a secure password app over a document or a note, because if you store all of your passwords in a document and then someone gets into your computer, well then they know all of your passwords. So if it's on an app that's encrypted, that can't happen. So a couple of things to think about also when you're creating a brand new account. Accounts, like say I'm going to sign up for an Instagram account. It's going to ask me for all of these different types of information: my name, my email address, my date of birth. Don't give too much information. You'll see that there's a red asterisk which is kind of denoted as the required information. Just give the required information and don't give anything else besides the requirement. Make sure to check the privacy policy. It tells you what they do with your data, and if the privacy policy says that they're going to share your data with other companies, well, you might not want to create that account. And make sure to always ask your parents. If you are under the age of 13, it's actually illegal to create an account without your parents' permission. And even if you're 13 or over, it's still good practice to make sure to ask your parents. They can help you understand that privacy policy and make sure that your data is going to be secure. And then finally, let's think a little bit about, we can also be our own worst enemies when it comes to privacy and security by oversharing. So sometimes it's what we share in our posts online or on social media. So remember, who's in the picture or post? Do you have their permission to post that picture? Because we can give away someone's privacy and security by posting things about them without their permission. Secondly, does the picture or the post give away someone's name or their location? That would be giving too much information, so make sure not to have a picture or a post that says too much. Could you say the same thing with less information? Can I not say the person's name? Could I not say where we are? And still have a post that I can share with my friends, but not give away too much information. So those are just a few of the things to remember about internet security. You'll be asked some of these questions on the quiz, so good luck, and I hope you earn your badge.